Ah, the Prince of Persia, that playful protagonist whose primary pastime is pouncing around palaces and piercing patrolling pikemen with pointy peripherals while pillaging pyramids, probably, and protecting princesses from plotting practitioners of pernicious profligation, is back to... What do you mean the Prince of Persia isn't the protagonist of Prince of Persia The Lost Crown? Well, then who is? Sargon? What is Sargon? Well, I'm not redoing the whole opening. Anyway, the tail end of 2023 saw a handful of solid Metroidvania titles hit the market in the run-up to Christmas, though, to be fair, fans of that particular genre have been eating well for some time. But despite some exceptional offerings, Metroidvanias have always been a domain lorded over by the humble indie developer. Yes, AAA developers may occasionally throw their hat in the ring, but it's not common. With Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, Ubisoft have not only thrown their hat in the ring, but their entire wardrobe and whatever car they're currently driving, then picked up the ring and fucked off with it. In terms of pure gameplay mechanics, The Lost Crown is arguably one of the very best Metroidvanias I've ever played. Perhaps that's to be expected or even demanded given Ubisoft's available production capital and experience, but either way, they've fully committed here and absolutely nailed it. You don't play as the actual prince, however. Instead, you play as Sargon, youngest member of the Immortals, the elite Royal Guard of Persepolis. When events take an unexpected turn and Prince Hassan is kidnapped, Sargon and the Immortals go after him, travelling to a mysterious location in the ancient desert where time anomalies have created a power called Simurg, I can't pronounce it. Despite the ridiculous haircut and boy band good looks, Sargon is pretty handy with his two scimitars and also able to harness the power of Simurg to perform impossible feats of acrobatics and time manipulation. Prince of Persia The Lost Crown is huge for a Metroidvania, weighing in at around 25 hours even if you don't go for the 100% completion. Split across multiple biomes such as Goldie Palaces, vast underground caverns, a subterranean harbour, an ancient forest, a stormy coastline and a grimy prison, the non-linear nature of the exploration allows you to pick which areas you explore first and by extension which bosses you fight and which new time and combat powers you unlock. It's not entirely freeform, but there's enough malleability to necessitate backtracking and experimentation, which of course is aided by the regular drip feed of those new powers and abilities. There are some great ones that I wouldn't want to spoil here, but as an example, there are powers such as an air dash or the ability to make a copy of yourself that you can rewind to. When combined, the multiple powers allow you to navigate fiendish traps, gauntlets of enemies and hazards, or solve some truly taxing puzzles. And if you're stuck on a puzzle or need a power you don't have yet, you can mark the map with a screenshot to remind you later. This system uses a finite resource called memory shards and feels like a genuine innovation that we'll see more of in the future. The Lost Crown is absolutely fit to burst with secrets, puzzles, challenges and alternate routes. Linked by special fast travel points, each area contains multiple side activities and several multi-stage side quests give you even more to do. But none of it would be half as enjoyable if not for the sheer joy of simply moving in this game. Sargon's speed and agility combine to create a fluid, satisfying experience that's rarely short of exhilarating. When you're combining multiple powers and traversal moves to overcome a series of traps or best some of the incredibly tough environmental puzzles, the sense of momentum is downright addictive. Combat too is slick and fast as Sargon uses blades, bow and chakram to defeat enemies. Magical amulets can be slotted on Sargon's necklace to give his attacks different effects, such as regaining his Arthra, or mana energy, on a perfect parry, or even to add more attacks to his combos. Enemies respawn when you die or travel between rooms, so you'll fight a lot. Arthra surges can be unlocked by beating special boss fights and then assigned to one of 2 slots to execute when you've accrued enough energy. The Lost Crown's greatest strength, though, is tying all this together to produce a game you simply can't get bored of. There's so much to do, so many different powers and skills, and such a vast array of collectible items such as lore, skins, amulets or upgrade materials hidden behind dastardly traps that you'll rarely stay in one place for long. The pull of discovery and desire to overcome puzzles that have hitherto thwarted you is as powerful as I've ever seen in the genre. Boss fights too are exceptional, pitting you against smaller mini-bosses like a giant crab or story bosses that offer a much stiffer challenge. These often feel almost like bullet hell shooters with the onus on evading attacks and utilising your time powers to keep out of harm's way. Often you'll need that perfect parry or you'll need to have equipped a specific amulet to help mitigate a certain type of damage. Perhaps surprisingly, the story that threads it all together is also pretty good. There are twists and betrayals throughout, so you won't be sure for a good chunk of it who's on whose side. It's not an award-winning script or anything, but it's more enjoyable and coherent narrative than you'd normally get in the genre. With Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, 2024 is off to a flying start. It's a fantastic return to the franchise's side-scrolling roots, and one of the strongest, smoothest examples of the genre I've played. It never seems to run out of ideas, and despite some pretty savage difficulty spikes in places, which you can mitigate with a superb set of difficulty options, it maintains a satisfying, fluid pace throughout, and for that reason, I'm going to score it a 9 out of 10. Hi there, hope you enjoyed that review of Prince of Persia The Lost Crown from Ubisoft. If you did, please hit like and subscribe if you tag the bell icon too, so you're kept up to date with everything we post going forward. And if you want to support us via Patreon, you can do that at patreon.com/GodIsAGeek. In the meantime, I've been Mick Fraser and you guys have been lovely. Bye.